Hi guys, this is Leah. My name's Simon, and you may have seen us at Cranley over the last 6 months, or maybe not. But either way, good to be here. Very honoured to be able to speak to you today. Diane asked us if there's anything that God's shown us recently, and asked if we'd be willing to share that. So that's what we would like to do. So Leah's going to read a couple of verses from the Word, and then we'll take it from there. Take it away, baby.
Okay, guys. The first one I'm going to read is taken from Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 12 and 13. It says, "In those days when you pray, I will listen. If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me." The next one is taken from Acts 17, verse 26 and 27. "From one man he created all the nations throughout the whole earth. He decided beforehand when they should rise and fall, and he determined their boundaries. His purpose was for the nations to seek after God and perhaps feel their way toward him and find him, though he is not far from any one of us." And lastly, James 4, verse 8 and 9. "Come close to God, and God will come close to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, for your loyalty is divided between God and the world."
Thank you, Lou. I want you to say hello to my little friend. It's Mr. Bush, the radio. And I know they used to be pretty old and monolithic. I know going back as a grandkid at my grandparents' house in Tuckton, my grandparents would spoil us grandkids rotten. There was just one time in life that you could not or dare not make any noise, and that's when the Archers were playing. By the windowsill they used to sit, and the radio was on the windowsill, and they would sit in deathly silence. And on the windowsill was a pair of wooden clogs that my great-great-great-grandmother would have worn. And if one of us kids made a noise, my grandmother could hit us running at 100 yards with one of these clogs. So suffice to say, when the Archers was on, it was a no-go. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about, the Archers. I just want to show you something which I believe is God has been showing me recently. So let me start with this. Let's hope there's some music on. If there's bad music, I can't be held responsible. Some of you like that, but I don't. Can you hear that? It's coming from the radio station, through the airwaves, through the antenna and out through the speakers, so we can listen to it. As good or bad as that is. Now if I do this and move the tuner, now all you hear is white noise. Nothing. Now if I tune it back in, we get to hear the music. And somewhere in between, got a bit of music and a bit of white noise. You can hear some of it, but not very clearly. So let me just tune it in again. Beautiful. There we go. What I believe God... Let me explain. God deals with me simply. I'm a simple dude. And God showed me very clearly, using the radio. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And God is speaking to me, and He's speaking to you all the time. He's there all the time speaking to us. It's just sometimes I can't hear Him. I can't, like the radio there. I'm not tuned in. I'm distracted. My head is somewhere else. I'm thinking about different things. And I'm just not focused on God. And I am just not hearing what He's saying. It's not coming through loud and clear. And there's the other time where the frequency is kind of half tuned in and half not. And I'm kind of half hearing God and I'm not. And God's saying to me, I just want you to lose all the distractions. I want you just to focus on me. And cast aside all the things of this world. And I know how busy life is. I know when we lived in America, I had a company and things were very, very busy. And Leah, with the kids growing up, was very busy. And I know you guys, life is busy. Life is busy, busy, busy. There's a lot to do. There's a lot going on with families and work and all sorts of things. But God's very clearly shown me that He needs to be the priority. He needs to be there. He's constantly speaking to me. It's just that I can't hear because I'm not tuning into the right frequency. And I've got all this white noise. It's kind of crowding in life. And the enemy wants to be that white noise. He wants to put that white noise in your life so you can't hear the Lord. So it's a very deliberate decision. And I would suggest for me and for all of us that we need to be deliberate, that we need to be strategic, and we need to choose God. We need to make time. We need to focus on God, and we need to drown out that white noise and tune in with everything that we have, because I know that God's got so much He wants to say. He wants so much to pour into our lives. But if we can't tune in, we can't hear Him properly. And we get discouraged because we're not hearing the Lord. But we have to make time. It's a decision, a deliberate decision to follow Him and to make time for Him. And especially now we have time. With what's going on, as crazy as it is, we have time on our hands. Let's be deliberate and push into the Lord. Let's be deliberate and focus on Him and tune into His frequency to hear what He's saying. Because I know, folks, that He's going to have good things for you. He's got good things to tell you. He wants to love on us. He wants to encourage us. He wants to build us up. He wants to direct us too and correct us. But that's good for us. So I would encourage you to take time. I would encourage you, I would dare you even to try it. Just make that time for the Lord. Tune into His frequency. Read your word. Get on your knees and pray, because He's just there waiting to speak to us. He's desperate to communicate the nuts and bolts of life. He wants to walk through life holding our hands, and I just know that would please Him so much, and we would benefit so much from that. Not that that's why we do it. We do it because we love our God. But that's a good thing, and I know it would benefit all of us. So I would dare you to try it, and maybe you do, and that's great, but just to push in even further to our living God, and just trust Him. So tune into His frequency, tune out the world, tune out the distractions of life, and you won't be disappointed. So thank you, my friends, for letting us speak to you. God bless you, stay safe, and we'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.